attention, Aquarius I am. We in the Aquarius age for the next 2,000 years, you dig?
Swing low, time to move on. Light years in time, ahead of our time.
I want to free your mind by helping you understand the zodiac signs. That's right, you're live with Aquaman in the zodiac zone where the cosmos is your home. I'm your very own Anpu, the real urban guru, coming through on the mothership. So let's open up your cosmic memory bank and swing down to earth where the shit stain. Hey, peace everyone. Welcome back to Hip Hop Astrology TV. I'm your host, Anpu, the real urban guru. First, we got to start off with a rest in peace. My condolences, our condolences go out to the entire Porter/Combs family. You know, ladies and gentlemen, our spiritual family here. You know, we gotta learn. We gotta learn. You know, I was talking to my brother, Prime Minister. He said the scientist Niels Bohr used to have this conversation about Einstein when they had a difference of opinion. He used to tell Einstein, shut up and calculate, okay? And I want us to challenge ourselves to shut up and calculate, okay? And so, you know, let's get into it, man. It's so touchy. We should be able to see her death, through the life of Puff. And the reason that I'm going to do it this way is because I want to show you that not only are we physically entangled, and what I mean by that is you will know her as Puff's baby mom, Puff's ex-girlfriend. You will always associate her to Puff to give her that notoriety and that stamp of who she is to a degree, right? It's not to take anything away from her success, not at all, okay? It's just a society and the fact that we live in. You Google her name, Puff is going to pop up, okay? And this thing called entanglement is something that's known in science that states that when you can take atom and split it, and basically since they're of the same structure, same unit, when you separate them and you change the spin velocity of this one over here, spin velocity changes as well, okay? In human terms, you call this the coincidence. In human terms, this is you thinking about somebody, they pick up the message and they call you, and both of you are on the same plane. As a coincidence, coincide, two things are coinciding. This is entanglement, okay? So if you can be mentally entangled with someone, thinking about them and they thinking about you, physically entangled with someone where you share the same space with them, sexually entangled when you're swapping chemical, psycho-spiritual energies, okay? That's a clear, obvious entanglement. I am going to tell you there's something called spiritual entanglement and cosmic entanglement, both being the same thing from my definition that I'm given here. And you don't have to be together. And one person is going to mirror the other person, okay? And I should be able to see, and you will be able to see Kim through the life of Puff, okay? And so that is the premise, all right? And let's just really get into it here. So Puff, born 11/4/1969, is a Scorpio, the sign of death and rebirth. You can Google that and see if that stands to the test, because you're going to see definitions of that's what that means. On 11/4, that is the 11th day of Scorpio. Therefore, Puff Daddy is an 11-degree Scorpio. Now, when I saw that he was an 11-degree Scorpio, I know something about the heavens because I shut up and I calculate. I understand that something else was taking place exactly in this same region of space, okay? And before I get into that, let me show you where the sun was when Puff was born. Now, although a Scorpio, the sun appears to be at the top of the Libra scale. So let's put Puff's picture up under the sun and let's personify him like they did in ancient Egypt, like the sun god Ra. Now, this is a very, very, very important picture that I want you to understand, because you always give the Egyptians much props. All these props, they're the wisest, they was the dopest, they was deep, they was black, they was the first black to do this and do that. And we're lacking the true understanding and implementation. Hello, I'll say that again. And implementation of the spiritual laws that they were personifying and teaching. You're stuck on history and not actually doing. Majority of the people. Okay. So the sun god Ra is clearly depicted with a solar disk, a sun on top of his head. And out of this sun disk are these energetic petals, right? This energetic, just call it energy, that is interfacing and intertwining with a beautiful woman. This is interesting because they knew that you and I, the human being, was nothing more than a personification of the external universe. They knew that. So they personified it as sun gods, moon goddesses, and therefore, in the Greek, did the damn thing with making everybody a god. Poseidon is Neptune, the god of the sea. Mars is the war of God, the god of war and all that type of stuff. Okay. So clearly right here, we see some type of energetic exchange from a cosmic force of man. Okay. You got to be clear with this. A cosmic force of man. When I say man, man and woman, is having this interplay with each other. Okay. Very clear. All right. So I know that it was something that was taking place called the Venus retrograde. All right. Venus retrograde is going to occur from October the 5th to November the 16th. Okay. Now, what is Venus? Well, before we get into Venus, let's make a note here that this phenomenon, November the 16th, which is today of this recording, Kim made her transition November the 15th on the eve of the end of this thing called Venus retrograde. So let's jot that down as an astronomical human fact, a correspondence. Okay. Now, what is Venus? Keywords for Venus is love affairs, love, and marriage. Okay. So let me take a quick drink real fast. All right. So Venus is love affairs, marriage, love. Okay. Now, on 10/5, October the 5th of this year, 2018, because you said you saw that as the beginning of the retrograde, Venus is in the exact same position right next to the energy where Puff has, the cosmic memory bank, the personification of Puff Daddy. Because whatever your sun sign is, that's you. Hence the sun god Ra. So Venus on 10/5 is going to start this retrograde at 10 degrees Scorpio. Puff is 11 degrees Scorpio, a difference of 1 degree, same energy, same locale. This is why Venus is next to him. So when I'm looking at Puff and I'm saying, before this happens, and I say, Puff, there's something about a woman, a partner that you love, that we're going to have to look into her life, and we're going to have to make sure everything is A-OK. Because this Venus retrograde that starts on October the 5th is going to start exactly in the area of space where you were born, man. Got to understand that. Okay, so this is going to tell us something, but watch this. So on 11/4/1969, Puff's birthday, let's rewind time. Let's go back to the future. Puff's birthday 49 years ago. Where is Venus? Venus and Jupiter are close together, but Venus is right there where the arrow is pointing to. So I put a little heart right there because Venus represents love. I showed you that. So this is going to be, by the hand of the Virgin, this is the area of space that recorded the psychology of what Puff Daddy is looking for in a love union. This is the area of space that is the most sensitive and has the most information, all of the information as it pertains to marriage partners. Okay, I want you to understand that. Now, on 11/16/2018, you see the date. Where is Venus? 49 years later in the future called now. Exactly in the same spot where it was yesterday when this, I'm just calling it for what it is. Kim Porter is Puff's spiritual wife. Okay? So Puff is having a Venus return. Now pay attention. It started with him next to his son, and it ended with him exactly where Venus was. This was him, as far as his cosmic phenomenon is taking place. I don't need to go look at her. And we've done that, and we got the information on her, but that's a whole nother dialogue. And that's not actually, that dialogue is not even for the public. Okay? So I want to show you that you can be entangled with people, man. This is important to understand that we are entangled with people. Okay? So he's having a Venus return, and Venus ends exactly where it was when Puff was born. So the reason we say retro means it appears to be going backwards. Retro means back. Well, remember, Venus appeared to be just to the right of the scale. As the calendar days go up, the planets are supposed to move to the left, not the right. But you got to understand our vantage point, our viewpoint from Earth to Venus. Venus is closer to the sun. So as Venus is going around the corner and look like she about to go back the other way around the sun, we say, hey, that's a Venus retrograde, because it looks like it's going backwards. And it symbolizes something in our life clearly, that if you have planets, you were born with planets in the region of space where Venus is going to retrograde, then you better take a look at those things that those planets personify. Real simple. So in this case, Puff, I am telling you that there's something about a relationship, a marriage partner, that you're going to have to take a look into. Worst case scenario, because it started in Scorpio, the sign of death, they could die. Worst case scenario. Okay? So let's dig a little deeper and segue into Puff and Cassie. Again, the Venus retrograde, October the 5th to November the 16th. Okay? Well, October the 17th come, Diddy and Cassie caught it in breakup rumors. Go look up the news. October 17th, October 17th, October 17th. The first three links, you will see it. This is when this happened last month. They allegedly broke up on the 22nd. Cassie fires a shot, they say, on Instagram. F these hoes. Right? After Puff is reported messing with somebody else. So in Puffy's life, a month ago, you see this come out, some type of Venus issue, which means a relationship issue. Oh, a breakup. And then a month later, bam, why is this taking place? The planet ain't doing it. The planet is just a mirror of a phenomenon that's taking place in your life. It's just a mirror. Okay? So when you look into Cassie and Puff, you will know that on August the 19th, 2016, the police were called and they was going through a breakup then. Well, on August the 19th, I want you to note that I have an arrow. The base of the arrow was coming from Uranus and Green, which is in Aries at the time. And it's pointing to Venus, the planet of relationships, the area of space that records Puff's relationships. Watch this closely. It is pointing to the area of space where Puff has his relationships. Aries and Libra is direct opposition. Puff has Venus in Libra. As you saw in the chart, Uranus in the sky was in Aries. Notice on the square grid, they're connected by the red square because they are opposite each other. Opposites attract, but it also represents a conflict. So the planet Uranus is in direct opposition or conflict with the spatial memory that deals with what? His love life. The question will become, ladies and gentlemen, since he was going through a breakup period at that time, what is the energy of Uranus? I'm not making it up. I'm showing you. Divorce, which means breakup. Ladies and gentlemen of the astral jury, I rest my case. See, we're going to stop being ignorant of this. Oh, it's the energy. The universe. Oh, really? It is the energy. It is the universe. But we must now grow to a point where we truly understand what this is. And the beautiful thing about this is you can measure the future. And once you can measure the future, you can alter the future. And the future has a play on the past, but that's a whole nother conversation. Two things about religion, and I'm going to end this. In that Bible, you were told that the three wise men looked at the star of Bethlehem and found the Messiah, and you believe it. And if they're wise, because they understood that, then it must be a wisdom that you need to come into the understanding of. Because if you accept that book and you accept that teaching, that they're the wise men and they knew that, then I'm going to challenge you to become a wise man and a wise woman for your own accord, for your own soul. Second, the Holy Quran. As I saw a comment, beautiful Muslim sister from another country made a comment on one of the videos, basically saying the Islam of America is different than the Islam, and I don't represent. I just represent truth. So you can't box me into one. I just represent the truth. The same Quran that has a book, a surah, which is a chapter called the sun, the moon, the star, and the stars. The same Quran that talks about surely these are signs in the heaven for men of understanding. The same culture, Islamic, that starts this new year when the sun and moon aligns, usually in the season of Libra, then they start their new year. So does the Jewish culture in Virgo, Rosh Hashanah, head of the year, when the sun and moon align. And so do the Chinese, and usually in February in Aquarius when the sun and moon align. Interesting. We're going to have to grow to this cosmic understanding. You participated in it every day. Saturday, tomorrow, the day of Saturn. Sunday, the day of the sun. Monday, the day of the moon. Every day you give homage and credence to this phenomena that is real. And it's time to grow into the understanding and come out the zodiac closet, because everybody know their zodiac sign. Everybody's guilty of reading their sign to see if it's true. And when asked your sign, you say that sign, irregardless to you knowing the in-depthness of the sign. You represent the sign, and it's time to come out the zodiac closet. Okay? So with that said, again, my condolences to the Combs family, to the Porter family, to everyone that's affected by this and whatnot. Puff, I'll say this, because I took a look at something else as it pertains to Puff. Positive energy. You preach it, you got to live it. Not that you haven't, but you got to, because there's a negative marker that's coming up. That's really upon you now, clearly, because you're going through a spiral. Don't add on to the gravity of this, what appears to be a downward spiral, because you're accident prone. Cuts, burns, fights, bruises, things of that nature can happen within now to the first quarter, because it takes a little while, a few months, what I'm looking at. The first quarter of 2019, And then that energy will pass out, and then you won't be likely to undercome those type of events that I just named. All right. So listen, ladies and gents, you need me. Thumbs up, please. Thumbs up. Share this information. All right. When I get on this right here, showing you this death stuff, this shit is very real. You know, this playlist, I love this playlist. The celebrity news and death, very real. Okay. Thumbs up for me. Subscribe. Hit the notification button for me, but definitely subscribe. Thumbs up. Share with a friend. You need me. Call the number. All right. Peace.
Prophecy is what we all have to go by now.